ADA, we start with 1 hour chart. We want to see how we can look for trade. And as we can see, what we were expected the price to drop, this is what we get. Since the price was within this move, we mentioned we're looking for the down move. Okay, no, we have been within this down move, but now turn to a correction, and the corrective move. Because we mentioned we're looking for the reversal. We want to look for buy. Okay, we want to see how we can look for it. One thing, when the price was within this move, we mentioned we're looking for this 1.138 and 1.109 price. Take both of them, and as we can see exactly within these two range, the prices start to correct. Not the correction. That's why we put these two in relative to each. I mean, close to each other. I mean, we have been looking for this even as a close to each other because, as we can see, prices start to correct within this. Okay, we mentioned if there is a breakout, the next one what we're looking for is one. Okay, but how we can look for trade, because we mentioned we're looking for the reversal, because when the price was within this move, even the price was here, we mentioned we can expect for running flat. Okay, either this one we can put in relative to this or this one. Okay, because almost this is the key for us, how we can look at it. If we put this one in relative to what we have here as a running flat, that's mean almost this is the last move, and this one can turn to a start of the reversal. But if we consider this one in relative to this, still we have to look for one more drop. But in that case, we will have this kind of the move. That means still we can expect one more drop to give us one correction for one more drop. That means this correction can turn to a deeper correction. Now, how we want to look for trade? Because right now, what we are more interested in a buy for long term. The only thing is we're looking for the reversal. Either we have to look for this correction to get the reversal or one more drop. What I mean this correction, either the price reverse from here with the breakout of this, we need to start to look for buy, or we wait for one more drop. Even if we wait for one more drop, maybe we get a correction again. This one turn to more complex correction. Okay, what we can say right now, as long as the price haven't broke the top or this low, still we are within this correction. But mostly we want to find some move we put relate to in this move. Okay, that's why no, maybe we think this one can turn to what we had there. Even when the price was within this move, we were thinking to look for buy, but this correction we get, it didn't give us good trade setup. Even if any one we take, we see it's reversing. Okay, in this case, we start with higher time frame. We want to see how we can trade. And now if we move to daily chart, all right, as we can see based on daily chart, this is the one we have one issue here we need to highlight, because based on daily chart the price haven't broke the previous stop. But if I move to 4 hour chart, I see that differently. All right, if we move to 4 hour chart and 1 hour chart, if we zoom, we can see the price broke the previous stop. This is the one things I don't know why the chart is showing this, but by the way, we don't need to care about that. Now we want to see how we can look for trade. Again, we move to daily chart. Okay, first of all, based on daily chart as of what we have right now, because when the price was within this move, we mentioned maybe we can get one more drop, turn to a more complex correction, because right now we have a flat in relative to what we have here. Okay, that's mean any reversal we buy setup, we are more interested. We are not really looking for sell technically, but the only question whether the price can reverse from here or drop a bit more, break this low, then from there we can look for reversal. Okay, now we want to see how we can trade it. But what we want to say is that we're looking for buy. The only thing is we want to know how deep this one can go before we get the next move. All right. In this case, we move to 4 hour chart. We see what we have based on 4 hour chart. Okay, now we start with 4 hour chart. All right. As we can see based on 4 hour chart, what we have here, we have been looking for the price to drop to these lines. As we can see, the prices start to correct within these lines, and know what we know, if there is a continuation, the next level what we're looking for is one. This is what we mentioned, because if the price can break one, then we need to look for 0.9. This is what we have been based on what we discussed based on daily chart, because we mentioned still we can expect this one to break previous low before we get the reversal. That's mean if we want to look for buy, we need to look for buy setup reversal either from here or the price broke the previous low. Okay, by the way, now we want to see how we can look at that if I remove everything. Again, what we have here is a correction. We want to see some move to put in relative to this to confirm this move, the internal correction is finished. Right now, the only thing is we can put this one in relative to this. That means the best things, if we get any down move reversal, we can look for buy. But it doesn't mean if we get any reversal from here, we don't look for buy. Still, we can look, but we need to wait for the breakout of the top. But the best is if we get one move down, because the next down move also we can expect the sharp move, then the price can retest this low. Because mostly if the price retests this low, the confirmation for the reversal is better for us. But one thing we need to know, the reason I'm mentioning all these things is I want to say if you want to look for buy, we need to get the trade set up in case this one turn to a more complex correction we have here. All right. In case this one turn to one move and this one turn to a correction for one more drop. Okay. Now the thing is, if we put this one in relative to this, if I move to indicators, MACD doesn't show me anything. But here I see the divergence. That's why we don't, if we had the confirmation based on both of them, we could confirm, okay, maybe this is the start of the reversal. But what I can say still, we can be in the, we can be within this correction for a longer time. If we want to look for buy, we need to be quite careful. All right. Now, the only things we can say here, how long we will be within this move and whether the price can retest this one or not before we look for buy. All right. Now, we move to 1 hour chart. We want to see how we can look for trade. If we move to 1 hour chart, as I mentioned, either we wait for one more drop before we get the reversal or the price reverse from here. But before that, if I put this one in relative to this, do we have a divergence? 1 hour chart, we can see divergence. And if I move to this one as well, okay, for me, any reversal I look for trade. How we can look for trade? First, if the price reverse from here, from what we have right now, the best thing is we wait for the breakout of the top, beat the sharp move flag, we take the trade. And with the breakout of this top, we start to manage. But if the price continues as a corrective, we are not going to look for buy. Mostly we can look for one more drop. And the only how about if this one turn to a flat, if this one turn drop a bit more, turn to a flat, maybe we can consider. But right now, like we cannot confirm because what we have here is not the way it's moving. We cannot put as a sharp move as a correction. If we move to 15 minutes, all right, can we say? I don't think so. Even this one give us a one more drop. We can unless this one we put in relative to each other for one move up. This then we can confirm this one for one more drop because what we get here I don't think we can be a really sharp, even if it's a really sharp move we cannot look for trade setup. That's why if we move to 1 hour chart, if we want to look for this, the best things is even we get one, if we put this one in relative to each other, the best things is we wait for the sharp move with the breakout of the top for the correction to trade for the next week. Because if you want to look for, if in case this is the start of the up move, we can have entry above the top. But how about if the price tag and reverse? Is very risky. It depends on the traders. That's why the best option if the price to reverse from here, we put above the top. And the best things is, as I mentioned, we get one more drop. And what we mentioned, if we get one more up, we can put this one easily relative to this. The next drop reversal, this is what we can confirm for the next move because the next drop, even if the price retests this low. Okay, this is how we can look for trade right now. Okay, rather than that, we cannot buy within this because as I mentioned, because the first option we mentioned the reversal from here, we wait for the breakout of the top. If we go for the second option, we want one more drop, we break out for this low because the thing is as long as the price haven't broke the top or low, we are within this correction. Any trade within this correction we consider as a short term, and mostly we need to trade based on lower time frame, not 1 hour chart, because we cannot get really good trade setup based on 1 hour chart. That's why if we want to look for buy, either we should wait for the breakout of the top or low. And the best things with what we prefer, we get one more drop, at least we can confirm this move is finished. All right. By the way, we just mostly for me, if I want to look for trade, I prefer if I get one more drop. In this case, what I want to say is we are not looking for sell, even if we get the opportunity to look for sell, unless this one give us become more complex. Then any sharp move with the flag, we can look for sell. With the breakout of this low, we start to manage. But if the price drop from here, we cannot. I mean, we don't have any good opportunity. I mean, trade setup to look for. But as I mentioned, for long term, we're looking for buy right now. I mean, from now, it doesn't mean right now. But the only thing is we need to confirm how long we will be within this. Anyway, we just follow the chart, and as we can see, there is no much changes in our. I mean, put in relative to our last analysis, the only thing is we get this move up, and it couldn't move. And in this case, we just follow the chart. If I see any update or any changes, I will share. Thanks.